Hello, everybody. My name's Kurt Whitman. I'm pretty new to the dozer scene. I've done some tractor restorations, but this is our first dozer. Kind of funny story. My brother-in-law was mentioning that he was looking at one, but he wasn't sure why, and so I said, "Tell me more." And next thing you know, we're buying it. Uh, I do have a short video out of us putting it on a trailer. I guess I didn't spend a lot of time explaining anything, but we kind of bought this. He's got some trails he'd like to maintain and expand, and I have some edges of field where the honeysuckles are intruding quite a bit. So we thought, well, this might be a fun little project and hopefully get some use out of it too. Um, Further ado, I'll switch it here if I can remember how to do that. Well, maybe I won't. Hold on. Nope. There it is. Okay. So I've done some dismantling. This is a dozer blade that came on it, and it is so sloppy that it does have the tilt blade on it, but it's so sloppy. If you look at these pins, you can kind of see the gap there. Well, it's just not supposed to do that. This one's the same way. It's so bad that when you tilt it all the way one direction, it's likely that you can set the blade flat on the ground still, and tilt it the other direction and it'll still almost go flat on the ground. So we know we have to fix that. So I took these arms off. We're inquiring about doing some line boring on them, but we'll see how that goes. We may farmer fix it. I don't know. We'll see. But we'd like it to be decent. We know we're not going to make a living off of it. If I ever have a video of us actually running it, you'll see why, because we aren't operators. But anyway, you can see this has a ripper on it. It's a 59 D4. Let's see, the easiest one to get to. Serial is right in here. Don't know if you can see that. Maybe that helps. 7U44188. So that makes it a 59. It does run, but other than the sloppiness in the blade, we've found some other issues. It does slobber a little bit. I'm hoping that with some use we can kind of get the rings reseated and make that better. The gear shifter, you can see there, had been broken, probably because of the simple fact the clutch was so far out of adjustment on brake. This is a wet clutch system, which I've never heard of before, but this is a wet clutch, and the brake on it was so far out of adjustment that you couldn't push the lever far enough forward to actually get it in and out of gear. And I'm sure that's how the shifter got broken. The right clutch seems to hang up a little bit, but it seems to be getting better with use. So hopefully that'll be good. The seat is trash, which that's not any big surprise to any of you guys out there. But my brother-in-law is reupholstering a seat for it. We know we can buy them, but he likes to do that, and so I say kudos, go for it. What else? He did put a new screen on this air cleaner, which you might say big deal, but the screen was so painted over, I don't know how this thing even breathed before. What else? It is a 24 volt system. I don't know that it came that way, but It's suspicious that it did, and if you watch the video on it, you'll see, or you'll at least hear, that we had problems with the starter engaging, which part of that could be a weak starter, but we did have the starter off, and there's a lot of teeth that are chewed up pretty bad on the flywheel ring gear. So we're hopeful. Wait a minute, I didn't turn this microphone on. Maybe that'll help. We're hopeful that I can get that pulled out without too much trouble and get it replaced. My nephew works at Caterpillar, for a company that supplies Caterpillar, and he located one, but we need to verify teeth and diameter and all that good stuff. So, but yeah, when we bought it, it didn't have any covers on the batteries, which they aren't pretty, but they'll be functional, and that's kind of what I was looking for. Let's see, what else? We couldn't get the starter to work when we first bought it, and that's why we had the starter off, and we cleaned it up, got it better. We also discovered that up in here, the compression release was not hooked up, so I kind of made something, a lever here that you can turn it and do the compression release. I'm hoping that saves our new ring gear, because that 24-volt starter isn't very merciful. When it wants to kick in, something's gonna move. So okay, well, we did know, like, this brush guard, whatever you call it, they had like here, this was all wallered out, and of course driving it around you kind of see why. That cage just shakes and goes nuts. But one thing we didn't know is I have bad spring. And of course you can see the brake there, but it does have hydraulic adjusters, which is nice, and I'm very grateful to the Antique Caterpillars Club that some of you guys have really helped me out on that, and I have one coming. He's also sending me a new shifter. I was hoping, he thought he might have that. You can see the right brake pedal over there is broken and cobbled up, and he thought he might have one of those, but he had already robbed that off the machine he was looking at, so I may still need to get that. But I don't see a lot of information on these hydraulic adjusters, but I'm assuming we just bring that nut in and compress that spring. If you guys know anything, be sure to comment, because I don't see any information on how I'm supposed to do that. And then after it's compressed, obviously these are the keepers you take loose. We do have a couple of track pins that are sticky, but the tracks themselves don't look too bad to me, and there's some loose pads. We need to get those new bolts in those, I'm sure, and I think there's one bolt missing in one of them. And of course, maybe you can see down here on the ground there's oil. Those billow seals are junk, and especially on this side. The other side isn't as bad, but that might be something we just continue to pour oil into while we're using it, because again, we're not going to be doing a lot of hours on this. One thing really disturbing, the other night when I was running it, my son and I played on it the other night, and we got mud and gravel all caked to the tracks that didn't come off, and Of course, there was 70 years of dirt under the belly pan that I cleaned out, so I thought, well, I'll take it out and run it around and get that dirt work loose and sweep up under it so we can do this other work. And even though we had just replaced the fuel filters, my fuel pressure was awful, and I'm hoping that it's just that the tank was so full of garbage that it's clogged the filters again. Again, any wisdom on that would be wonderful, because I'm very new to this stuff. We do know we need to replace all the hoses. We actually blew this one when we were running it through its motions when we were looking at it, and so we replaced it, but all the hoses need to be replaced. It does have what do they call this, surge tank on the hood. I don't see a lot of those around, and I assume it's because of having the ripper on the back. Don't know, again. That's just my assumption. The hood's in pretty bad shape. It's been welded all over and bent and whatever, but we aren't planning on making a show tractor. We just plan on using it. So I did make this shield to try to protect the starter some, and yeah, whatever. So it looks better too. I do need, I don't know if I can just do plexiglass, but the glass is missing out of the hour meter here. I'd love to get that repaired. What else? I'm sure there's a ton of leaks around on it. I did repair this shield over here. It was in pretty bad shape, and did some repair to it. This does have an alternator on it, which I'm fairly certain isn't factory, but I don't mind the alternator, but I'm not sure that it's working. I do have a guy that I take stuff to. I may have to bring it to him to verify that it works, but I can't tell that it's actually charging. Here's another thing that we didn't see when we looked at it. Of course, we didn't know what we were looking at, but this bushing, yeah, that shouldn't do that. So I have to get that off, and of course I got all the bolts out, but if you look back in there, it's actually welded in there too, right in here. So I have to get that loose so I can get this out. I did discover in one of the books, again, thanks to the club for having those books online, but the book, I was like, I have no idea how to get those shields out of there, and the book is pretty clear. Cut it right down through here, and then you weld 2 tabs to it. So obviously those shields have not been off of here since the dozer blade was put on, and who knows when that was for sure. So what else have we played with on this thing? I don't know that we've done a lot. Again, we know we're gonna have to pull the engine. Don't know if I have to remove the radiator and everything. I would assume so, but anyway, that's gonna be a little bit of an undertaking. Maybe we'll film some of that. Right now it's just brutally cold, and I don't feel like being out here any longer than I have to. I do have some heated floors in the other part of my shop over there, but I don't keep it very warm because there's no insulation in this barn, so I just like my feet to be warm. Here's something else that makes me think that this might be a factory 24 volt system, because if you look up in here, right there, I don't know if it's making that out. I think it is, right at the end of the flashlight there. That's like a pressure switch that I think disconnects the electrical when the engine doesn't have oil pressure. So that sounds reasonable, like it was set up for a 24 volt system, but again, I'm ignorant of this, so you can say, yeah, you're wrong. It won't hurt my feelings any. I don't know. I do like this. I think Matt has a similar machine, but it's a little older. But this has this diverter valve, so I don't have to. I can lift the ripper independently, but beyond that, it's also got two valves up here, so I can do my tilt without moving that diverter valve. I think he has to move his diverter valve to do the tilt, and it's just one lever. So I'm very thankful that it's all it's two lever system. I did read in a book where there's actually three lever systems, but I'm not sure how what type of if that's a different hydraulic system. This is a 7W 11598 hydraulic pump system, which I don't know, it looks pretty common. Yeah. Anyway, we're pretty psyched about having this. It's and hopeful that it's going to do what we want it to do without having thousands and thousands of dollars into it, because that kind of defeats the purpose for us. We were hoping to do thousands of dollars of earthwork, not thousands of dollars of repairs, so we could do hundreds of dollars of earthwork. So anyway, I guess maybe sometimes our dreams don't always come true. Yeah, I don't know if we'll ever put lights on it. It does have a switch on there for lights. I don't know if you noticed on the other side when I was showing you my decompression lever, but it has a dash light here. The gauges all work. Well, I say that, but I'm not sure about the amp meter. And it does have this switch that goes both directions. This way is for heat, and the other way is for start, which, if you're familiar with these, that you can get pre-combustion chambers that have holes in them for glow plugs, which I think would be pretty awesome, but I don't know how involved that is to change those pre-combustion chambers on these. So that might be something we look into, because it does start hard, and I don't love ether, even though even in the book it tells you sometimes you're going to have to use ether and the glow plugs. So I'm not sure Caterpillar was afraid of it, but we all know it's not the best on them. So if we could get it starting most of the time without ether, that would be, I think, highly beneficial. So oh yeah, now that I see them, were these track support arms we did discover the first night we brought it home. If we go under here, I don't know if I can see it from here. It's not great, but if you look right there, those have been welded and welded and welded. I think they did a pretty good job, but wow, how bad do you have to wreck something to break those things? I mean, that was a lot of metal there that they just sheared off. So that was pretty discouraging to me, but like I said, they seem to have done a good job welding them up. So yeah. I don't plan on doing anything with that. The tracks seem to do what they're supposed to do, other than those few links that don't turn. And again, you can see them like here. They shouldn't look like that, but I'm hoping they work themselves out over time. So again, we'll be doing some work on this. We might film some of it. Maybe. We'll see. I'm really bad about remembering my camera. So, but we do like working on these things, and sometimes it's good to have it documented because not everybody does. Even, like I said, even with just for instance, the hydraulic adjusters on those springs. Now, people with newer dozers, yeah, you do them all the time, but on these D4s, old D4s, I just don't see it. So, yeah, that might be something of value to somebody else. I don't know. So, and of course, we do have the token barn cat. That's become quite the thing. Caterpillar guys, I think. I think it's almost a prerequisite that you have a barn cat now. So we keep that little fatso for mice patrol. So hopefully she's doing her job. She's definitely healthy, aren't you, Peacock? Yeah, you're a healthy kitty. So, but of course you might see the old combine in the background. That combine was mouse infested, so it is not now. So maybe she is earning her keep. So anyway, I don't know what else to say about this, but thanks for listening. And again, if you have any comments, words of wisdom, any of that, again, I don't see anything online about people messing with wet clutches either. So I know LAOL, they just got one with a wet clutch, and he told me they were getting ready to work on it, but that might be a ways down the road. So who knows? I may have a video out on that before he does. So we'll see. Again, I've been very appreciative of all the help and encouragement I've gotten so far, and look forward to doing a lot more work on this thing. So thanks again for listening. See ya.